Okay, so today is my, or well, rather this afternoon is my afternoon off. First one in probably 2-3 weeks, something like that. But I got to change the transmission fluid in my truck, so I thought I'd get that on video. Here's a filter here from Napa. It's for the E4OD four-wheel drive version, which is the shallow pan one. The two-wheel drive is the deep pan, and takes a different filter. I got 18 quarts of Dextron Mercron ATF here, and this should be pretty easy. I try and do this about every 15-20,000. You know, once the fluid starts to look kind of brown and not so red and happy like that, it's time to do it. Anyway, I'm going to take you through the process here. Okay, so what you're going to need to do here is there are 5 bolts that hold the torque converter cover on, and you're going to need to take those out. There's one up underneath the starter. There's a pain in the butt to get to, and it is not very easy. But once you get that off, you can. There are 3/8 bolts, by the way. They're not metric. You can bump the starter until you get the drain plug for the torque converter here at the very bottom. And I've already cracked this one loose here, so I can just go ahead and undo it and let the fluid drain out. And that stuff is kind of looks like motor oil, which is you know, not very good. I should have changed this sooner, but anyway, you go ahead and just let it drain out all the way here, and then we'll take the pan off here and let it drain out. If you're doing this, I would recommend taking and getting a late model pan that actually has a drain plug. I just have not gotten around to doing that yet. They make one that has a drain plug, but you can just drain it and it's a lot easier. With this, you're going to need to loosen the bolts and then kind of lower one end and let it drain out, and it usually makes a huge mess. But anyway, I'm going to get to this and let it drain. Okay, for dropping the pan on the transmission, I like to just use my impact here, and I believe it's a 10mm socket to take out all the bolts that go around there. I'll usually just take out every other one and then go back around and slowly take them out and leave the 2 bolts in the front here, and then slowly take the ones in the back out here. My camera adjusts to the lower light. There we go. I can see if I can do this on camera without making a huge mess here. As you can see, the pan is already loose, and it's just kind of the fluid that's down in here. Let's see if I can do this on camera here without making a huge mess. I might just set it down here for a second and see if I can take this bolt out here. Well, there we go. Now I think I can go ahead and lower this on camera so you can see. Okay, let it adjust here. There we go. Now I can just start. There we go. And as you can see, I should have changed this a while ago. That looks like motor oil, and it should not. It should be nice and pink, or not pink, but red. And there we go. If you leave the 2 bolts up here in the front of the transmission, you can just let it drain like that, and that's pretty much it. At this point, we'll let it drain here. I'm going to put the camera up so I don't grease it up here, but just take these last 2 bolts out, and once I get the pan off, I'll show you. Okay, so here you can see we have the pan here off. Yeah, the fluid doesn't look the greatest in it here. I really should have changed this a long time ago. Okay, so I got the oil pan all cleaned up here. You got to make sure you put the magnet back in there. Here's the new filter. You got to make sure that you get the old gasket out of there. There's the old one. Yeah, this kit from Napa contains the new gasket, your filter, and I think it was like 50 bucks. The oil is the expensive part. All told, I think this was about $115 worth of parts and fluid. But I'm going to slide under the truck and put this all back in. There's no bolt or anything that holds this filter up in there. It just slides up in, and then you can just put all your bolts back in and refill it with oil. Okay, so the pan's back on, so now I'm just dumping in oil. You're going to need a funnel like that, and one of those long ones, and then I think it's 18 quarts if I'm not mistaken of you need Dextron Mercron. This isn't one of the newer transmission that takes the fancy Mercron 5. This just takes the old ATF.